All right, Ken. Thanks for taking the time to meet with me. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Over at work, and it looks a lot sunnier out there than by me here in Chicago. It's rainy and foggy. It's pretty rough day today.
yeah,
Although it's like
it's a
60 some degrees.
yeah, it's kind of a we go through like all four seasons this time of year in Georgia till like the spring. So where we trade off snow, we have pollen that's here. So yeah,
All right. All right, so I just want to kind of find out a little bit more about your situation, ask some questions. Maybe it might help somebody else. So, why did you decide to sell your home in the first place?
well, it's basically like this. I was the only child. I was reared in that home, and
Yeah.
I went to school here in Georgia and planted roots here in the Atlanta area. And so my mother had recently passed. I guess March would be 3 years, and my father died unexpectedly in the home.
Yeah.
And so it was just, yeah, it's just one of those situations that that home was no longer, that house was no longer a home for me
Hmm.
because those loved ones that made those memories there had passed on. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's for me. I had to take the emotions out of it and make a sound, firm business decision to kind of set myself up for the future.
And I love the way you said that. I think you said it perfectly. That home was home at one point. Since your father passed, which I'm definitely sorry that you've gone through that. It's obviously a challenge, and regardless, unexpected or expected, it's never easy to lose, such an anchor in the family. But I know for you saying just that it's no longer a home and that you're willing to step away, now look at this as a business decision instead of an emotional decision. That's a challenge for a lot of my sellers. So I
Yeah.
really like that you actually were able to separate yourself from that, that situation of being emotional versus a business transaction.
Yeah, and initially I think I wanted to kind of keep it myself and kind of
Yeah,
like personally fund the deal, but the
yeah,
reality is, it's like, okay, where do the funds come from? Do
yeah,
I pull it? Am I going to navigate this experience from 12 or 14 hours away? Because that's how long it would take in a car or to fly or to make arrangements.
yeah,
Who's going to be on site quarterbacking things for us? So when
yeah,
you have a group as such as yourself that is has the business acumen, you do transactions daily or weekly. It
yeah,
just made more sense to let the experts hand it, um,
yeah.
help to beautify the community, and not hold on to a residence where it becomes a liability or an eyesore.
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, part of our process, and we pride ourselves in bringing value to neighborhoods, especially Pill Hill, such a great neighborhood. We're all about that neighborhood beautification. So now, how do you feel that the deal's now closed? Now that this is all settled, it's closed. I know it's been what, a week and a half now.
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, I feel relieved. I think once we had talked, there was some pipe leaks within the house,
Yeah.
and actually I came
Mm.
to Chicago to sell one of my dad had an RV. I came there to sell some estate matters, not even thinking about the house because I was staying in an Airbnb. The house was empty at that time. So, just a little divine intervention is like, hey, well, there's a purpose for everything. And FYI, I didn't sell the RV, but the other piece of it was that, hey, listen, I'm glad I did stop by the house, because if I
Yeah.
had not seen that, how many more weeks or months would have went by with that leak, no eyes on it, because the
Yeah.
house is meant to be lived in. So if nobody's there and somebody's just checking on it for you as a favor, then you run into liabilities and risks. Then
Yeah.
if we get water damage or mold, who absorbs that cost, right? So that's just the realistic part of it.
Yeah, especially in Chicago, coming in to the winter season and getting this done prior to then, you saved yourself a whole lot of money because frozen pipes is a real thing here in Chicago.
Yes,
Frozen
yes.
and busted pipes, though.
And so here's some fun facts. During the course of that year, there were so many bullets that I was kind of shielded from, kind of some favor. Um, there was a tree that was in the front of the house. Y'all had a bad storm or something. I want to say back in April or May. That tree that I used to play basketball and hide and go seek with my friends growing up split in half. And I don't want to say it perfectly fell, but it fell in a way that it didn't damage the house, but it caused damage to my neighbor's house. Right.
Oh,
And so
wow.
and so just think about that. I'm not there. I'm not able to get the tree cut. It was fortunate that I had people in the community that cared, that put
Yeah.
me in contact with the alderman's office and things of that nature. But that's when a tree falls or split, that's not a normal landscaper type task, right? And
No.
it could have failed in front of those beautiful bay windows in the front and caused major damage, but it missed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was a blessing. So, any reason, I guess, kind of to move this along, any reason you chose us instead of going with an agent? I know you kind of, you know, answer that in a sense on, going with the professionals, but I guess why not go with an agent?
Okay, so here's the deal. I could have went with an agent, but the problem is that when you're left something abruptly with no will or testamentary in process and you're going through the probate deal, I
Yeah.
wanted people that were kind of steadfast, honest, trustworthy, that could navigate this deal. Give
Hmm.
me the bit of education that I didn't know from the legal standpoint,
Yeah.
and to broker this deal where hey, it's seamless. Y'all took the stress and the heavy lifting off, and allowed me to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm relieved. 10 days out, I'm relieved.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, we did this pretty quickly. I think we got this done in 45 days, something like that. I know you kind of going through the probate situation and all that. I know once I kind of heard your situation, I knew we were able to kind of line you up with the perfect attorney that can kind of navigate you through that. Because I knew that shouldn't have held things up. So I'm glad we were able to help, get you through that. So anything you suggest in our process that we can improve?
No, I think you being accessible, because a lot of times when a loved one leaves you something, it's a gift, right? And you kind of selfishly you want to hold on to all the chips, right? But you have to look at where you're at. You have to look at
Yeah.
where you are financially, mentally, and you have to make a sound business decision. For me, I had no other sibling. I was next in air. So it was
Yeah.
mine alone decision to make. And you were accessible to text or phone call where you could be, to kind
Yeah.
of explain like next steps. And you just got to sit back, take the anxiety out of it, and allow things to operate.
Yeah. Um, Now that this is wrapped up, you've gone through the process. Somebody out there that might be watching this, what would you say to them that are thinking about selling their property in your same situation? I think you've kind of said a lot. I guess if you're to wrap a bow around this, our conversation, what would you say?
Have in mind a plan that okay, hey, you may get 100, 200, 300, $400,000 cash, right? You could blow 100,000 easy, right? Have a plan. What are you going to do? What's your plan moving forward? If it's to take it to save, so be it. It's your right to do whatever you want. Have a
Hmm.
plan in place. What you're going to do to set yourself up for future generations for the gift that you receive, right?
Yeah.
That would be my best advice for anybody.
Yeah. I know with you're taking this money and that's exactly what you're doing is you're looking to set up that generational, wealth moving forward.
Mhm.
So and unfortunately because of the way your father passed away abruptly wasn't expected, this he didn't have like that full laid out plan for you, so but he did leave you the house. You were the
Yeah.
only, you're the only sibling, you're the only heir. So I think you did the right thing. I appreciate you reaching out to us. Anybody out there, watching this, you can see what Ken's gone through. Might be, resonating with yourself. Pick up the phone, call Diamond Equity Investments. Appreciate if you ask for myself, Guillermo. Be happy to help you guys out. So thanks a
Okay.
lot, Ken, man. I really appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
You were easy to work with, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Look forward to doing business in the future.
I look forward to that.
All right. Thank you.